The Vineland Research and Innovation Center recently celebrated the opening of its newly restored, renamed Jordan Building.
It used to be called the Horticultural Production Lab. It was built in about 1947 to 51, and it focused really on horticultural production. It was put into disuse about 30 years ago, and I like history, and it was a fine shaped building, and we needed the expansion, so we said, let's renovate it. Got the support of the government and the Vineland Board, and we've just invested over $3 million into renovating this building.
The building showcases a number of advanced capabilities, including a climate controlled laboratory space.
The building, as you can expect from a 1947 build, was fairly old. It was classic government lab design of that time, very nice, very scientific. We've renovated it. We unfortunately had to kick out a few residents in frogs and toads and rats and things like that. But we've now got probably one of the most high-end soil research labs in the world. It comes in various sections, but we can process material as it comes in through the back end, and then work through what I would call a dirty soil lab, then a clean plant lab, to actually evaluate the media that's under research. This building will primarily be used for soil research, but also nursery landscaping research. There's a lot of work being required, especially post-COVID and during COVID, in urban landscaping. So the whole understanding behind urban landscaping in general, soil quality, soil use, and what's the right soils for what environment.
The town of Lincoln and the Vineland Innovation and Research Center have partnered to work on research in real world ecosystems.
The types of research required today, and it's beyond research, it's how do we actually help municipalities in the longer term manage their operating expenses and their capital expenses. So this helps inform Lincoln of the things to do right and actually supports the supply chain, making sure that the development was accepting of those particular trees, for example, that you see in a lot of developments die after 2 years because they're not the right trees for the right development, for the right soil conditions. A lot of the work that we're doing is making sure that that helps that supply chain, understanding the tree supply, understand the conditions, whether it's salt conditions or ocean, sea, lake conditions nearby, and the whole water management around that particular site.
The Research and Innovation Center has also opened a tree culture research park.
The Tree Culture Research Park is an outdoor lab that Vineland has designed in order to help cities, nurseries, landscapers to manage the many challenges that we have when we're trying to make evidence-based decisions around natural infrastructure in our living landscapes. Our objective is to take the findings that we create out of the experiments that we can run in this unique facility and apply them directly into municipal specifications, standards, green standards that many cities are developing now. Ultimately, it's all about making sure that when we're sort of making decisions around designing green infrastructure, that we're using the results and the evidence that we have to make really informed decisions.
The Tree Culture Research Park is the first of its kind in Canada.
The experiment that we have running right now is really exciting because it's around soil specifications, and that means what we've done is we've taken results from our lab and we've actually figured out how best to sort of narrow in on the types of sort of restored soils that we need for the facility. And then what we do is we actually take those specifications out to cities. So what we're testing here right now is 4 different treatments on modified soil environments. So things like mixing your standard soil with things like compost and high lignin mixes. And then ultimately what we can do is we can help cities to figure out where to apply that and how best to apply it.
An important aspect of the research park is the ability to collect data.
Each compartment is individual, which means that we can do different things to each compartment in terms of treatments. They're also all collecting data all the time. So we have things that are being collected below ground in terms of soil pH, soil EC, oxygen, water content, and that's all being sort of logged, and we're looking at that data in real time. And that allows us to understand those conditions as they change and also connect the vegetation responses to those conditions.